Hey everyone, welcome to the show tonight. I'm Dr. Asatar Bear and my co-teacher here, Leah Schaefer.
Hello,
And
world.
hello world. we this week we are focusing on the heart chakra. And we do heart rhythm meditation, right? This is a method of meditation that comes from Sufism. In a sense, we always focus on the heart chakra. We see the heart chakra as the master center. So we see the other chakras as being ways that we can tune our energy for specific purposes. um, like to feel more grounded, let's say, or to experience joy, pleasure, creativity, to develop our self-control, self-mastery, and so on, right? So now we've gotten to the heart center, right? So, and if you've missed our coverage of the other centers so far, go back to the previous weeks and watch those. But of course, you don't have to do that before you watch this one. This is you're good. You know,
We got you.
yeah, we got you.
Oh my gosh. Um, where do we begin? Because the it's such a big topic. So it's like Asatara and I have been studying the heart and experiencing it through meditation for, well, you've been doing that your whole life, right? Because like you were born into
Right, right.
studying.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like in a way, it's become like a little bit of a buzzword or phrase or whatever, like being in your heart. Maybe a new agey one, maybe that's not sort of general, but like, right, you could go to a yoga class or whatever, and you could use that phrase and people would understand. They'd have some, idea what that is, right? Or they'd see like that as good,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah, totally.
so it's interesting just to think about, like, well, what does that mean? What does it mean to
Mhm.
be in your heart? What is that? You know, um, because I think a lot of us have the kind of the sense that a lot of time we're like up here, you know,
I don't
and
think that a lot of people know that.
people don't know that. Oh, well,
No, it's totally subconscious. Like it I think a lot of people are up here, but they don't know that they're up there. They're just like, this is life.
this is life, yeah. But don't people sort of say like, I want to like get out of my head a little bit, or something like that? I,
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do, but they like end up like going dancing or doing drugs or something. Like they don't like to get out of their head. They don't think, well, let me go into my heart instead. Like nobody thinks that way. Not that I know about, maybe. I feel anyway.
well, there's
We could be
certain.
wrong. Please comment and tell us how you feel.
Yeah, tell us how you feel. What does it mean? Do you want to be in your heart? I don't know. I think
Well,
that
no,
there's
and
certain. Go ahead.
I think they want to be in their heart. I just don't think they really know it's an option,
Ah, yeah.
necessarily.
Well, there's certain experiences. I mean, we were just talking about this before the class, right? Like, there's certain experiences which make it unavoidable for you to be in your heart,
Mm.
right? And there's
Yeah.
nothing that
Hmm.
gets our attention like pain, like heartbreak, like
Yeah.
grief. I mean, I can tell
That's when your
you,
heart really shows itself.
yeah, and where it makes it very difficult to for your mind to function in the ordinary way, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
hard to
You're just
concentrate, when you're in a
you're
lot of
just
pain.
screwed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to address it. You have to experience it, or you kind of deal with like the just how difficult it is to function. I mean, this is where I feel like I'm in right now, to be honest. I mean, I'm dealing with the ending of a 30-year relationship, marriage, and the grief I feel is really intense, and it it just has really grabbed me by the throat and made it impossible to do anything but like go into the depth of that experience, and it's
Yeah.
often very painful. Um but it's like this is the kind of thing that it takes to kind of come to a completeness or a closure over these momentous events. um
Hmm.
and not that the heart is all like pain and sorrow and whatever, but like, you know
No.
we go through life and we have these woundings,
Mm,
and we have these
mm,
losses. And when you tune into your heart and make it and say, like, I'm gonna go into this place of emotion and energy, that's going to be there, among other things, right? But it's if you want to hide from it, you can't go into your heart, right? Um,
yeah. Well, Asatar, I think that one of the things too is that when these events happen where our heart breaks in a very true and fundamental way, that is the point in which a person can no longer ignore their heart. They would like to retreat back to their mind like they were normally
yeah,
doing, but they cannot, because their heart at that point is in such great need of them to be present with it. And so a lot of times a person, this is when the heartbreak is when a person will seek out meditation or they will seek out other answers through therapy, etc., to try
right.
to reconcile something that is so massive, like an earthquake within your own self, that is not going to go away on its own. And most people don't really necessarily know how to cope with that or what to do. And this is where heart rhythm meditation really comes in strong, is really helping us to be able to heal and reconcile the biggest traumas in our life. Because the thing is that our heart has all its own medicine. Your heart is so powerful. Has such energy, such big energy, that even though this wave of grief is happening to you, it is only a part of your heart. And that
Mm,
wave of grief is only indicating the extreme and extraordinary power that's within you.
mm.
And so your heart has this ability to create its own medicine. And this is the gift, this is the beauty of the practice that we do.
Yeah, well said. That's a great reminder. Thank you.
Yeah.
you know it's like we are giving our hearts resources, when we take the time, when we cultivate the breath, when we go in with a certain attitude and saying we're going to be open to whatever we experience. We're not going to try to, put ourselves in a box and say, oh, we're only going to experience positive stuff now, right? Because the heart is all positive. It's all rainbows and unicorns. It's not,
Mhm.
right? I mean, the heart is where
There
you feel
are rainbows
pain.
and unicorns. there,
There's,
there
there's,
are also
but luckily
rainbows.
there's rainbows and unicorns.
A little
But
bit.
that's not all there is. There's everything.
Yeah, there's everything. There's everything. My phone might die. I will be right back. Hold on. Sorry.
Well, the point is, it's not all what we would put in that box and label positive, right? So we want to, we're trying to cultivate a state of unity in our hearts. And unity is everything, right? So we can't sort it and filter it and say, oh, that's not unity, right? That's we want to embrace it all. And it takes courage to do that, right? I mean, and
Yeah.
when you feel pain, I just got this question from someone recently. Well, how do you go into your heart when you're in a lot of pain? um, and that pain is already taking you there, right? I mean, that pain is taking you there. All you're doing, if you sit in meditation and tune into your heart, is you are choosing to go into that with the most resources, right?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
terms of energetically, right? Like you're ready for it. I mean, or at least I suggest that that's a good attitude to take when you go to
Mhm.
meditate. Say, like, you know what, I'm gonna embrace whatever comes, and that's part of the experience. I'm not gonna try to make it be something and I'm not gonna try to force it into a box. um,
Yeah. Well, so, and I want to encourage everyone. So we could talk a lot about a lot of different aspects of the heart because the heart holds so much within us. But I want to encourage everybody that heartbreak, first of all, it's unavoidable. I mean, if you live your life and never have a heartbreak, have you really lived, honestly? Like, have you honestly lived your life? Because that just doesn't make any sense to me. And so heartbreak is going to happen. Like, it's going to happen in life. So you didn't do anything wrong if you've had a heartbreak. But the good news is that this is the initiation. Like this, the heartbreak is the initiation into the heart. So it's like once our hearts break open, that gives this space. I don't understand it, but it's like when we process that pain and when we work through that pain, this is what gives that space for the light to come through. There's something about that cracking open of the self. There's that cracking open of everything we thought that we knew. And somehow, if we reach deep enough in and have that much faith and that much love for ourselves to reach that deeply into the core of our being, then that's when the light can come back through, and it's going to come back through full force. So the opposite, like the opposite pain, the opposite of the pain you feel, you will feel equal amounts of bliss, equal amounts of happiness, equal amounts of love. You know, like
Mhm.
that's the thing is like, even though it's a deep shattering and a deep pain, when you go through and you process this, that is really how the initiation of the heart is meant to be. And through that process, if you go through it and you don't try to run away from it, you don't try to escape from it, and you go through it, that's when you're going to blow open. And then you'll really understand the light of the heart. You'll understand like what Asatai and I can't stop talking about for free on this channel regularly. Like, like, please subscribe to our Patreon page.
What we can't stop talking about for free on this channel. That's true. We're hoping you discover that.
It's true. So, but that's the whole point. Like that's the whole point. And so we want not the money, the breakthrough. The breakdown, the breakdown is the prerequisite to the breakthrough. So if your heart's broken, I'm not trying to be non-empathic with you, but I'm trying to say this is the good news. Like this is the part. This is the mud before you hit the spring. Like this is it. You've made it to your
Mm,
heart.
mm.
um and those of you that have suppressed it, we're going to reopen it tonight for you. So like don't worry. Like we're all just going to we're all just going to find that light that's in there that everybody keeps talking about. And it's even a well, like to me it feels like a wellspring. It's like you really have to dig, you have to go through the mud, and then once you hit that mud, that's when the spring is going to come really soon and really quickly. And when that spring comes, your life changes forever.
Yeah. I think it's amazing how, we can do these techniques or these practices, and they're often very simple. One of the foundations of the practice is to take in breath to your heart and receive, everything that life gives you, you're receiving that, right? Or you're receiving it from another person. You're receiving that energy that um, is so multifaceted, right? And then as you exhale, you're giving. And just that giving and receiving, right? That can trigger so much emotion because, we're working with energy. Emotion is energy, and so the feeling comes with the energy, um, and, it's different from a lot of the things that people kind of come in with, like thinking, okay, this is all about controlling my thoughts or not having thoughts. We're taking a different path here.
Yeah.
We're saying, well, let's really get into our hearts. Let's make our breath rhythmic. Let's make our breath strong. Let's energize our hearts with our breath. And let's let the thoughts follow that, right? The thoughts follow that energy, and if your thoughts are if your thoughts are taking you into the depth of the experience, then of course you want that, right? I mean, like that's part of us, right? Like we don't
Mm-hmm.
come here to be mindless, to not have thought at all, right? I mean, we have, our minds have a function, it has a purpose. The problem is when it's like that part of us is in charge and it isn't equipped to be in charge, our hearts have to be in charge, right? Our minds provide the strategy. They don't provide the direction. So, it's like you have I don't know, it's like you have a general and you have a captain, right? Like you don't, one has to be in charge, right? The heart has to be in charge. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if we've answered the question exactly. What does it mean to be in your heart? But I think we're starting to, right? Because, and then there's another part of it, which is like, okay, are you aware of your emotion, um, and has that emotion had time to run, right? Because a lot of times we react and it's emotion, right? But it's not like our highest best stuff that we're coming with, you know? Like we can be
Mm-hmm.
in worry, fear, doubt. Those are all emotions, but that doesn't
Right.
represent like the whole truth of who we are. And they're
Mm.
that's like being in the kind of choppy transitory part of the ocean. It's like being on the surface, right? Waves are,
Mm.
you know and
Yeah,
we
I
want to
forgot about
like
that.
always go
That's really,
deeper.
yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. I've forgotten about that metaphor. That's beautiful. Yeah. Well, let's meditate, I think. Let's try this out, everybody.
Let's try it out. All right.
Let's try this out. So first, just stretch a little bit. Asatar and I came in hot and heavy today, so let's all stretch a little bit. Move the body, your body, any which way that feels good before we sit. Do you recommend sitting upright for this meditation today? Sometimes I'm very open about that, saying, "Oh, you can lay down instead," but today sit upright. Um, unless you're completely devastated, and then go ahead and lay down. Everyone here, everyone here is welcome. Okay.
I'll see you later, man. I'm gonna lay down.
You're gonna lay down. Okay,
No,
but just like
I'll
get a
sit up.
good camera shot. Okay. All right. Just have the team follow you with the camera. Okay. Go ahead and close your eyes. If you are somebody that it's really difficult to close your eyes, then you can soften your gaze instead, kind of like how a horse would be looking at all things at once. You would open your gaze in all directions if closing your eyes is intense for you for various reasons. And then the first thing we do is that we check in. So you've already showed up, you put yourself into the position that's like that statement of commitment. You've made it here, you're here, you've done the hardest part, which is showing up for yourself. And then once we close our eyes, suddenly we become much more keen to what's happening within ourselves. And I always deepen my breath right away because as soon as I close my eyes, it's almost like my deep breathing lets me know I'm not alone. There's something about the breath that feels like a friend to me. And so maybe you start your deep breathing right away and maybe you don't, but that's always an option as you start to just check in and tune in with yourself. And there's so many things that can be going on at any given moment. But what's real for you today? What is it like to be you right now? And you don't know the answer to this right away. Like before we close our eyes, before we look inside, we may think we know what it feels like to be ourselves, but there's so much more. There's an entire castle, and it's like we're just living in the basement most of the time, living in the basement of this castle most of the time. And when we close our eyes, it's almost like opening the door to the castle that we didn't even know that we own. And you want to discover yourself like you would be discovering a castle you don't even know yet, all the different rooms, halls, and even the land surrounding it. So discovering really what is there and then starting to meet what's there today with that full, deep belly breathing. So we're not trying to think a certain way, we're not trying to feel a certain way. What we're trying to do is tune in. And then we're breathing into whatever we find, whatever's real, whatever's a part of us right now. You want to bring your breath really to the lowest part of your abdomen, to the lowest part of your spine. You know, it's almost like you're weaving the energy of your breath down and through your chakras, but you just follow your breath by expanding your abdomen out, your low belly out, following your breath down into your own depths. And as you exhale, allow yourself to drop in even deeper, dropping into your body, dropping into yourself even more. And complete your exhalation by seeing how much more breath do you really have stored in there. Squeezing your abdomen in toward your spine and really seeing how much further could you go. And today in particular, instead of thinking of the exhalation going outward, think of yourself as going deeper and deeper into yourself. Finishing that exhale and going deeper and deeper in. Begin to make your breath rhythmic. So now not only are we breathing deep, full breath, and not only are we dropping into ourselves, but we're starting to create rhythm with our breathing. We're going to go deeper into creating that rhythm in a moment, but for now, just try to sense and intuit this harmony between your inhalation and your exhalation. Creating that harmony between your inhale and exhale. So now you're starting to create peace in your body. So simple. This deep, full belly breathing, creating peace in yourself, and something about that peace that you're creating with this fullness of breath is going to allow you to drop deeper into your heart. And I want to invite you Asatar and I are both here. We're meditating with you now. And all of the unseen forces that very much want you to be a healed, whole person, the fullest version of yourself, supporting you right now. And so, knowing that you have all of this support, I invite you to drop deeply into your heart, to allow yourself, to allow your heart to open, and to allow yourself to drop in. Your breath is right there, helping you as you drop in. And now I want to invite you to drop in even more, go deeper. I know that there can be so much in our heart. And so, whatever's there today, you meet it with that full breath. So, we're not trying to change what we're feeling, we're trying to accept what we're feeling so that we can bring full presence to it and full healing to whatever's there, or full celebration of what's there, because maybe it's something beautiful and bright. But for those of us if there's pain or if there's numbness, use your full breath to meet and to help to almost massage and work through whatever you find. Sometimes the breath is called spirit, and it's like spirit is literally helping you to assimilate, to integrate anything and everything. So just if it helps you to think of your breath as spirit itself, as life itself, the energy of life, the prana. That energy which is so much bigger than us, moving it through any pain you might be feeling. So it's not just you with your nose, it's like all of the universal life is helping to work through and transform any pain or any numbness that you are feeling in your heart tonight. You're letting spirit in, you're letting the energies of the universe in and through. And keep breathing this way, and I'm going to add in more technique with how to breathe in rhythm with our heartbeat. Now, your heart is always speaking to you, it's always having this, boom, boom, this drum. Try to feel it, try to hear and feel your own heartbeat. It's definitely there. You have a heart. Your heart is beating. Everyone has a heart. Really listening to your own heart and really listening for that drum, this constant companion of your life. With every single heartbeat, your heart is knocking on heaven's door. Your heart is knocking and knocking and knocking, making sure you don't forget about it. Asking to be known, asking to be known in its fullness. Your heart wants to be known in its fullness. So it's knocking and drumming again and again. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? And this is where that focus comes in, and this is where that fierce love comes in. Focus more until you can feel it, until you can hear it. Focus every day on it until you can finally reconnect. How can you know yourself fully if you cut your heart out? How can you ever live a full life if you cut out your heart? It's not possible. Maybe even bow your head in this deep surrender as you listen, as you reconnect. And now we're going to work on breathing in rhythm with our heartbeat. So maybe placing your hand on your heart or your fingertips on your heart. If you can't feel, if you can feel your heartbeat, just stay with it exactly how you are. If you can't feel your heartbeat yet, place your fingertips to your chest or your palm to your chest. Trying to feel your heartbeat this way. Or find a pulse point. So maybe onto the wrist. I like to place one hand on my heart, the other hand on my wrist. But you can also use your neck, trying to find your pulse. If you can't feel your heartbeat, your heart's there, and your pulse is the echo of your heartbeat, showing you right away that whatever your heart says, whatever your heart speaks, it goes through your whole body. So we really want to tune ourselves up with that, listening, feeling your heartbeat through your full inhalation and full exhalation. Now we're going to bring our heart and our body into a very deep place of peace by breathing in rhythm with our heartbeat. So if this is new for you, I'm going to ask you to count your heartbeats just for now, because this isn't what I want you to do for years on end, just for the first month or so. Count your heartbeat. I'm going to give you the number 8. You might have to vary that depending on how fast or slow your heart rate is. And you're going to inhale for the count of 8 heartbeats. And then exhale for the count of 8 heartbeats. So it's an even harmonic breathing in and out to the rhythm of your own heart. And even if you're counting your heartbeats, I want you to listen to every beat as if you're just simply listening to your heart and breathing with whatever's there. Really hearing your heart, feeling your heart, as if you do not know it yet, as if it was a new land that you are exploring, or a new friend, full of wisdom, full of information, full of love. And now that you've been breathing this way, allow yourself to drop in just a little bit more, dropping into your heart space and feeling what does it feel like to be in your heart now. To feel the presence of your own heart, your own center, and to be very immersed in with it. This is your home. This is your heart home. All right, and let's let go of breathing this way. Just a short little dipping our toes into the water. Move your body and open your eyes when you're ready.
Nice meditation. Thank you.
Oh,
I
thank you.
feel struck by kind of just how much I go through, or how much one goes through. It's like a whole inner landscape. It's an inner
Mm-hmm.
journey, and the it's it's just so rich. You know, going into your feelings and just allowing them to transform. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what emotions are. It's energy, right? It's a flow, and that flow is very transformative, right? It doesn't stay one thing. I mean, I'm noticing for myself, I'm feeling, I start doing a practice and I'm feeling sort of a level of exhaustion, um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I start to just feel like this rising energy, you know, but then
Mm-hmm.
they're both sort of happening, um, and a lot of times you have this, right? There's contradictory things going on,
Mm-hmm.
things which, like our minds are always labeling and categorizing everything, right? And even when we're in the experience, we're like, what would I call this experience? Or right, like, what is this? What is this feeling? What label do I give it, right? And
Right. Yeah.
that's going to happen, perhaps, but I think it's good to just kind of hold that lightly, like, okay, that's something that's happening, but let's not. let's not let it be the main thing, right? It's because it's not that important what names these feelings have, right? It's all part of the flow, you know. Um, so
Yeah.
those are some of the things I was noticing. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and there really is so much there. Tonight in particular, I was feeling a lot of this energy of peace. But there's
Mm,
been many times where, like, just even tapping into my heart, or even just taking one or two breaths, it'll be like w- tears, pain, you know. So whatever your unique experience was tonight, it doesn't have to be one particular way, but I do hope that in this diving in and in this rhythmic breathing with your heartbeat, that it provided a little bit of that space for peace, because
yeah.
there's something about that holding space there's something about that holding space that we create in heart rhythm meditation that allows the heart to go through whatever it has to go through.
Mm. I was definitely feeling that too, and also like a sense of grandeur, you know,
Mm.
like a vast space, and um, like a beautiful space. So, um, you know, and back to the thing about not being all rainbows and unicorns, I think it's, you know, I feel a lot of pain in my heart these days. And there's also these other things, right? There's also this joy and peace, grandeur, all these things, right? So it's, you know, it's not going to be one thing, you know.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, we have a comment here. I felt a lot of energy and peace too. All right, good. Yeah.
Oh, Rachel. Hi, honey. I'm glad that you're here.
Nice to see you.
Oh, so
Yeah.
good. I mean, I think if I was doing the practice alone, I wouldn't necessarily feel all of that peace. Like I'm like probably like vibing off of all these like master meditators that are meditating with us, including Avatar. Get to ride the wave.
Well, this is why we do the
But
class live, you know. I mean, there is a
mhm.
vibe, right? Even from a distance,
Yeah,
and everyone's in their own
yeah,
home or whatever, you know. And so
yeah.
it's
But we're all in it together. Introverts unite.
right. Introverts unite alone in your homes. Yeah, silently. Maybe writing a
Oh
comment or two
God.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Mm,
Well, Asatar, I mean, I think that you're in this really rich place of, you're in it. You're like in this rich place of healing time for yourself. And
mm.
I'm curious if this next meditation that you're going to lead is going to be medicinal for everyone, like what's the greatest medicine, what's the greatest medicine? You're in it right now, so you know
Yeah.
how.
Well, that sounds like a segue to.
We don't have to, but you could talk about it first if you wanted to. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready if you're ready. I just I really feel like since you're in such a deep place though, that the medicine that you'll come to will be so healing for us all.
Yeah.
Mm,
All right. Well, let's get into it
mm,
then. So we're you know, building on the meditation that we just experienced with Leah, and I mean, I feel that vibration is still very strong. So take your meditation posture and tune into your heart and begin to work on your breathing. You know, heart rhythm meditation, we want to make the breath deep, slow, rhythmic, heart centered, and full. So we start by just really allowing the belly to expand as we inhale. And it shifts the breath down into the deeper part of our body, the deeper part of our lungs, even. lot of us keep our stomachs very tight. Our bellies are always kind of under control, right? And there's a way that we're keeping our emotions under control with that too. And, that may be appropriate or it may not be. I mean, you would know better for you than I would. But when you're meditating and you're in a quiet place, surely this is a safe time to let your belly be soft and let down your guard and embrace whatever emotions come. And then we work on slowing down the breath. So just extend the exhalation, extend the inhalation, make the breath take longer. Give yourself time to savor the breath. The breath is energy, the breath is life. And as you breathe, imagine that it is your heart that is breathing. Of course, the breath is many things. It's air and it's also energy. The air part will continue to go through your nostrils, but the energy part goes where you hold your attention. So if you feel that you're breathing right in the center of your chest, that you are taking in breath into your heart, energizing your heart, filling your heart with vitality, with life. And as you exhale, you are radiating that energy. You are shining your light. You are expressing your unique energetic signature. You are giving your gift to the universe. And so we're focusing on the difference energetically between breathing in and breathing out. We would like the breath to be rhythmic and heart-centered, and we can do those two steps at the same time by tuning into the heartbeat and breathing in the same number of heartbeats as we breathe out. Now, this is the art of heart rhythm meditation. We would like to get to the place where this happens automatically, like a musician who can just play and you have moved the technical aspects of it to your unconscious mind. But when you're learning anything, you have to really pay attention to it in order to get it. So pay attention, make your breath rhythmic, count those heartbeats. Aim to get to a place, if you choose to take on this practice, aim to get to 8 beats in, 8 beats out. But if you're new to it, then you just do whatever you can, whatever feels right to you. And if you can't feel your heartbeat, let's not stress about that. That sometimes happens. Sometimes our hearts are hiding. If you practice this over time, your heartbeat will come to your attention. If you're not feeling it, then you can just imagine that you feel it. You're probably not far off. There's probably a part of you that knows, even if you can't consciously sense it. No, just myself personally, I'm working on these themes as I go through my own grief, my own loss. And my themes are gratitude, acceptance, and forgiveness. So if you feel called on to work with these themes, of course you're going to work with them in your own way. Breathe in gratitude, breathe in acceptance. I feel so thankful for all that you gave me. I'm done fighting it. I'm going to accept it all. But there's often a part of our pain that comes from holding on to anger, resentment, judgment, regret, bitterness. Perhaps those are things you can relate to. And so we need forgiveness. We need to forgive others and we need to forgive ourselves. And forgiveness is not condoning. It does not make things that were wrong right. But it does allow us to release. It allows us to release the holding of that pain. It allows us to release the recriminations that we direct towards ourselves. Breathe in acceptance. Breathe in gratitude. Breathe out forgiveness. And notice the places that you rebel, the places that you say, no, no, damn it, I'm not grateful for that. No, I don't accept that. That's okay too. We are embracing it all. And with every practice that we do, there will not naturally be a contrary movement because we're all full of contradictions. There will be a part of you that says no. So you just notice that and you just keep working with the breath. You don't struggle against the contradiction. You don't contradict the contradiction. You allow it to be. Maybe what you feel about gratitude is that you don't feel it. That is okay. That is useful information. That is your experience. Or maybe you identify, you say, I'm not ready to forgive. Or maybe you identify the things that you struggle with there. I'm not suggesting that you be perfect. I'm suggesting that you be real. Breathe in gratitude, breathe out forgiveness. Deep, slow, rhythmic, heart-centered. And now let's work on the final aspect, which is to make the breath full. To make the breath big and powerful. To do that, we breathe all the way out first. We give all the breath that we have. And we must squeeze the abdominal muscles in order to expel that air, breath. And we expand the belly, we expand the rib cage. We allow the breath to fill the belly and then fill the chest as well. We're no longer doing just deep breathing, we're doing a combination of breathing in the belly and breathing up into the chest. We've made our breath much bigger and more powerful. And yet we also seek to make it slow, to make it silent, to make it smooth, to make it refined. I'm very much feeling that sense that we were talking about earlier, that your heart is your own medicine. That your heart can heal. So bring in that feeling of your heart is healing. With each breath, your heart is healing. May the blessings of God rest upon you. We'll end our meditation there.
Thank you for helping us drop into our hearts more, Elsatar, with your vulnerability and with your authentic ability to tap into these spaces despite the difficulty of doing so.
Mm.
It was really so. I think there's no better way of learning how to heal our hearts than by someone really showing that and in real time, in real form. So I just thank you for that. It gave me space to look at things I haven't wanted to look at for a long time. So thank you.
Yeah, good. I'm
Mm.
glad to hear that. Um, I mean, me too, right? I mean, this is the secret of why we teach, right? I mean, we teach because it helps us. That's and it helps somebody else. That is
At
absolutely a
least
bonus,
one person, hopefully.
right?
Hopefully at least one person.
We've helped two people
Uh,
tonight, ourselves.
hopefully, hopefully it helps one person. Maybe it's you, so whoever you are. Well, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. And next week we're going to continue on with the throat chakra. We know Asatar and I both know that this is a lot of work. This is a lot of energy. You can reach out to us anytime. We are available as teachers, and so please feel welcome. You don't have to navigate all of this on your own. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
and
everyone.
if you have things you'd like to see us address, or even just you know questions for yourself, we'd love to. We get these all the time. So um, thank you all for being here and sitting with us, and
And
you
being
know,
brave hearts, going
yeah,
into your heart.
and we'll see you all next week. Take care, everyone.
Good night.